Who you think? But I ask you anyway. Who you think's a better example, Jesus or Muhammad?
Yeah, I think they're both great examples, but I would say Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a better example because he did show more diversity than Jesus did.
He showed more diversity than Jesus did.
Yeah, in
Okay.
terms of example, yeah.
All right.
There's a
So
lot of things Jesus didn't teach or give an example of, which you would say,
give me an example of something that Jesus didn't teach.
yeah, sure. I don't think he was married, right? So
Yeah.
he wasn't an example as a husband.
Yes,
Like
he
what
was.
example?
Yes, he was. Do you know why?
How?
Because the Bible tells us to love our wives as Christ loved the church. So the
Yeah,
love
but that's
that,
just a
yeah,
state. That,
yeah.
right,
So,
that's just a
hold on,
statement. Did he live it?
stack. Yes, he did because he lived the love.
Anybody can say anything.
He lived the love he had for the church. What did he do for the church?
What did he do? What?
What did he do for the church?
The church is not his wife.
The church is his wife. Literally, if you read Revelation, it refers to us as a bridegroom. I'm sorry, him as the bridegroom and us as the bride. So now back to it. What did he do for the church? He laid down his life for the church.
That's not no.
He
listen,
laid. Hold on.
No,
He laid
listen,
down. He laid
no.
down. He
I'm
laid
not-
down. Stack.
I'm not gonna let you get away with that.
You don't have to let me do nothing. I can mute you. You talking about let me? You talking about let me do something? What are you talking about? What's wrong with you? See, look, now you're muted. Let me. Christ's example of marriage is we should love our wives as Christ loved the church. The same way that Christ laid down his life for the church, we should lay down our life for our wives. The same way Christ dedicated his entire life to the church, we should dedicate our entire life to our wives, right? The exact same way that Christ treated the church, we should treat our wives. That is the answer. And that is a perfect answer.
Exactly.
Because there is no greater love than to lay down your life for someone. There is no greater love.
Did he encounter marital conflict and show you an example of how to deal with it?
Yes, he did. Want me to show you? Want me to show you how?
I'll show you.
I'll show you exactly how. Here's an example of marital conflict. Peter denied Christ
because he never got married.
All right, stack. Be quiet. I'm gonna have to mute you again.
You can't show me because he never got married.
Stack. Be quiet. Now, we have an example of marital conflict. Let's give you an example of marital conflict. Two of them. One, when John the Baptist, member of the church, member of Christ's body, he comes and he sends his disciples to Christ, even though he's already seen the angels descend. I got you. Let me get you, sister. He's already seen the angels descend, right? He's seen the angels descend upon Christ during the baptism, but he still sends his disciples to ask, How are you the one that's to come, or should we be looking for another? So what Christ says in that moment, he reassures John. He doesn't cuss John out for saying, "Oh my gosh, John, why wouldn't you possibly believe me? I already told you this." No, he says, "Go tell John the things that you see: that the blind receive sight, that the lame can walk, that the blind can see." Right? He gives John these examples and say, "Now go tell John this, and this will reassure John the same way you should reassure your wife." Another example, Peter denied Christ 3 times before the cock crowed. Christ told him, "You'll deny me 3 times before the cock crowed." This is a dispute, but what does Christ say? "Peter, I forgive you, no problem. It's all good, no issues. Let's move on. The same way you should treat your wife." Yes, we have these examples. Yes, he is that great of a God. Now, Stack, let me ask you a couple questions. A marital example. Do you think it's a good marital example to say to beat your wife with a beating that's not harmful? Stack, is that a good marital example?
Or do all your wives in one night?
You said why? By the way,
is it a good marital? That's fine. Is it a good marital example to say beat your wives with a beating that's not harmful?
To say to hit your wife? Yeah, I think it's okay.
So it's a good example to tell people to beat their wives.
Well, do you know what leads to that? Do you know the example he said that you must do?
No, I'm asking you, is it a good example to say beat your wives with a beating? Is that a good example? You think that's a good example?
You taking it out of context, but when put into context, yes, I think it's okay.
It's a good example to beat your wife. All right, next one. Is it a good example to marry a 9-year-old? Sorry,
no,
not even married. Is it a good example to have sex with a 9-year-old?
It's good to have sex with your wife. Yes.
What about a 9-year-old?
What about a 9-year-old?
What about a 9-year-old that's your wife? Should you do that with her?
Aisha's age is very disputed. So, but
Show
if
show
she
me a
got married,
singular. Show me a
listen.
singular. Oh, stack. You said it's disputed. Show me a singular Sahih Hadith that says she was any age other than 9. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. There's
No,
Sahih Muslim where she said,
show me
listen.
one that says it. No, give me the Hadith number. Sahih Muslim what? You said Sahih Muslim what?
I know this is where it was all eventually gonna lead to, but don't worry, I got it for you.
Thank you. Go ahead. You got it for me. I appreciate you, man. You got it. You got it, dude.
Could I say something about his standards, though?
Yeah.
If, according to his standards, that he ought to experience a particular experience in order for him to be a particular example, then we can rule out that Muhammad was never a good example of being a son because his parents were died before he actually existed. In fact, he cursed his mother and father. But so that's a standard that he judged by. And then another example of fatherhood. Muhammad never had children, and even his child died before, so he didn't experience being a father. And so many other examples. This paradigm or measuring stick that you ought experience the experience in order for you to be a good example will bury him at his tracks. It's insane. Like, yeah. The only thing that we can learn from Muhammad's marital relationship, that being married, is that
Paul, he actually broke the fifth commandment, bro.
yeah, like the only thing that we learn from his marital experience, Muhammad, that you can do all your wives in one night and only take one bath, that you can cheat on your wife, that you can beat your wives, and like commit PDF. Like that's what we learn from that.
That's crazy, bro. I didn't even stop to think about that. He actually broke the fifth commandment, and people want to sit here and think that he's a great example, or even try to compare him to the equivalency of Moses. Couldn't even be sitting in the same room.
All right, guys. My man, let's take you down. Sahih Muslim what? I can't hear you when you're off the screen, so you gotta come back on the screen for me to hear you.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to get it and then bring it back to you because I can't like switch.
Yeah, Sahih Muslim gonna have to disagree with Sahih Muslim. This finna be crazy. Hey guys, if you want to see the sources, all right, you got to go to the YouTube. If you want to see the sources, type in my name right here, Nazarene Remnants with Oblias. Go to the YouTube. You can see the sources. Whatever he bring up. For now, we're gonna put Aisha on the screen. All right, guys. Well, I guess you know what. Let's put some let's get some music going in the meantime here, man. I think it's gonna take him a while. Okay. Let's get a little. Now, guys, Stack comes up a lot. All right, let's do this. Put a 1 in the comment if you think Stack deserves the good music. Put a 2 if you think he deserves the haram music. Okay. 1 for the good music, 2 for the haram music. What do y'all think Stack deserves? Okay, guys, the good music, just the Jeopardy, or do we give him that hot shit? Okay, I see a lot of 1s. Oh, wait, we get a lot of 2s now. We get a lot of 2s. Okay, we're going with the 2s, man. We're going with the 2s, okay? Y'all want to hear that hot stuff. Okay, I got you. Y'all get me when I'm cussing, man. I got to stop cussing, okay? So, that hot stuff. Let me play that hot stuff, okay? Y'all can hear. Let me share this on YouTube, man, so y'all guys can hear this on YouTube, man. Y'all don't be hearing this on YouTube, bro. Let me share the screen real quick. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. Fell in love with a Muslim and turn me on. She say, well, alaikum salam. I love how you look in your hijab. Assalamu alaikum. Fell in love with a Muslim. Don't take this the wrong way. You want a Grammy? Don't... Hey. I fell in love with a Muslim. Turn me on. You say, well, alaikum salam. I love how you look in your hijab. Don't take this the wrong way, but you look so. Assalamu alaikum. Fell in love with a Muslim. Yeah. All right, man. Stat, you got the hadith, man?
Yeah, I actually can't find what I'm looking for. I can't find it.
Dang, that's crazy. Of course you can't. Now, back to the topic. Since we can only know what we can prove, do you think it's a good example to have sex with a 9-year-old?
No, I think it's a great example to have sex with your wife.
Even if she's not?
No, if she's ready for marriage.
Okay, what do you call ready for marriage?
There's so many factors that goes into it. But
prove it to me. What's the hadith that proves? What are the factors? Give me the hadith.
You said what? No, I don't have to give you a hadith. I could give you a verse in the Quran that goes into a marriage.
Sure. Give me. The verse is going to be about marriage, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It's going to be say that. Okay. That there is a marriageable age in Islam.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. It's a marriageable age.
So do you know what the marriageable age is?
Could be 10. Who knows?
Right, but like, do you know that what the condition that goes into it is my question?
Okay, let's pull up the verse you're referring to. Let's pull up the verse you're referring to. Let's read what it says.
Okay. Do you know what I'm talking about, or do I have to bring it up?
No, I can get the verse for you.
Oh, okay, good then.
Yeah, I can get the verse for you.
Chapter 4, verse 6.
Yeah. We know this.
Infamous 4:6.
Now, let's share this. For the YouTube ones, you want to see the sources, man? Go to YouTube, you'll see the sources, all right? All right. It says test the competence. It says test the competence of the orphans until they reach a marriageable age. Then, if you feel they are capable of sound judgment, return their wealth to them. What does it say about marriage?
What does that mean? That it is what, a marriageable age or no?
Yes, a marriageable age. The age could be 10.
How do you understand that? How do you understand that?
That age could be 10 years old. So what? It's a marriageable age. That age could be 10 years old. What does it matter? What does that prove?
Yeah, if you get your 10-year-old daughter married and she's not ready for marriage, is that a sound judgment?
It doesn't say that. It says then. So what does then indicate in the English language? That means after. So it says they've reached a marriageable age. Then, once they've reached this age, if you feel they're capable of sound. And the next verse is talking about wealth. It's not talking about marriage. So the only thing you can go to is that they reach a marriageable age. That marriageable age could be 10 years old. Doesn't have anything to do with releasing their wealth. It says they reached them up age, and then you test them and see if they can handle their wealth. But the first thing first, it just says reach a marriageable age. Doesn't say anything else.
Yeah, okay. Like I said, if you do, let's say, get a 10-year-old who is haven't reached or marriageable age, and like you said, is that a sound judgment?
It doesn't matter. This verse doesn't say anything about sound judgment. You're missing the point.
Wait. Can you read it again? Read it again.
Yeah, the verse that's about marriageable age. It just says. Let's read it again. It says test the competence of orphans until they reach a marriageable age. That's all it says.
Mm-hmm. Okay, right. Read the rest until they reach marriageable age.
Then, if they're capable of sound judgment, return their wealth to them. The next verse is about wealth. It's not about marriage.
No. The one after marriage is about, i.e.
No, it's
sound.
not. It literally says it in the verse. Once again, look on
Okay,
YouTube,
okay.
guys. You'll see the comments. It says return their wealth to them. It says nothing about marriage. This text isn't about marriage. This text is about
Okay.
orphans, their wealth being returned to orphans. That's why it says then.
What?
So they
So
reach
what-
a marriageable.
wait,
Hold
wait.
on, let me finish. They reach a marriageable age, and then you test them. So let's say once they turn 10, then you start testing them to see if they're of sound judgment, and they are. Then you return their wealth. It doesn't say they have to be of sound judgment to be married. It doesn't say this.
Okay.
It literally doesn't.
Okay, fine.
And
Okay,
no
fine.
hadith.
What
Show
is
me.
mar-
Show me.
okay,
Show me.
okay,
No.
oh,
Whoa.
no.
Show me the hadith writer that would interpret it this way. What hadith writer would interpret it the way that you're interpreting this verse? None of them.
That is talking about marriageable age.
Yeah. No. That the part where it says test them. That's talking about marriage as well. No hadith writer says this. Show me the hadith writer that says
You don't
that the
need
sec-
hadith writer when the text is self-explanatory.
No, the
You know
text,
that?
the hadith writer explains it in a different way than you totally. Let me read you. Let me read you what they say. The hadith says the age of puberty, according to the majority of scholars, is when the child has a wet dream.
Okay. What does that have to do with marriageable age?
That means the marriageable age is when someone has a wet dream. Do you think having a wet dream, if you pee the bed, is that good enough for you to say, let me stick it in there now?
Okay, wrong. That's not it. If somebody has a wet dream and they are not cognitively ready for marriage, do you think this is still allowed for them to be married?
That's what your hadith says. I don't think so. That's what your hadith says.
It doesn't.
It does.
You're not reading it right.
Your tafsir, sorry. Yeah, listen, man. Watch your head, Stack. You know, Stack, I expected more from you. I'll be honest. I expected more from you, Stack, because normally you stand on the deen of Allah. Today, you feared the kafir today. I can't even lie to you, Stack. Today, you feared the kafir. You feared the kafir today. Normally, you don't fear us kafirs. Normally, you stand pretty strong. Today, Stack, you feared the kafir. You knew you was caught and you freed the kafir. You feared us today. You feared the judgment of the kafir over the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You shouldn't fear the kafir. I bet he got Salafiyah in his name. I bet he don't fear the kafir. What's going on, Salafiyah? How you doing?
Wait, hello?